Hey everyone, welcome to the video. Thank you so much for joining me. If you are not subscribed, I would love it if you could go down and hit the subscribe button, because there is a lot of content coming out in the next 40 hours, basically. There are 8 series preview videos coming, this being one of them, a bracket prediction, the whole bracket prediction video, and then the contest winner and a jersey announcement winner. There's all kinds of stuff coming, so I'd love it if you could join me here. So let's get into this. Let's talk some round 1 hockey, Columbus versus Tampa Bay. 2 teams that have met before and recently. So I have a formula. I'm going to go do the same thing I did in my series previews for the play-in round, but this time for round 1. I'm going to go through it a little bit quicker, though. I don't want this to be a long video. I don't want any of these series previews to be a long video. So here are the 15 categories in my formula. Season, power play, penalty kill, offense, defense, middle, wingers, defensemen, goaltending, pressure, experience, leadership, coaching, chemistry, and history. So I've chosen a winner between these 2 teams, Columbus and Tampa Bay, and that's going to give me a final score. Splits are allowed, so we'll look at the final score and we'll see how my formula looks to determine whether versus what I actually think is going to happen versus what I want to happen. So maybe 3 different outcomes in this video. So the first one, season. Tampa Bay is the winner of that. They had the better season. Power play. So the next one is power play and penalty kill. I base these numbers off of the games that happened in the beginning of these playoffs. So in the play-in round with Columbus and in the round robin, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, with Tampa Bay. So these are not based on seasonal numbers. Power play, Tampa Bay. Penalty kill, Tampa Bay. Offense, I gave this to Tampa Bay. I don't think there's any question here that Tampa Bay has the better offense. Defense, Columbus, again, I don't think there's any question here. Columbus is the better defensive team. Up the middle, I gave this a split, and this is probably arguable, but I couldn't really sway myself either way, so I did give it a split. Wingers, I gave that to Tampa Bay. They have some very talented wingers. Defensemen, I went back and forth on this one quite a bit. I think the Blue Jackets have some very underrated defensemen. Whether that's from an offensive perspective or a defensive perspective, definitely underrated. But the cards are stacked with Tampa Bay as well, but they don't always play consistent, so I wasn't really sure what side to go with. So I put a split for defensemen. Goaltending, also a split. You've got 2, Korpisalo and Merzlikins. Who are these people? Like 4 years ago, who are these people? Korpisalo was questionable at the time, I guess. And on the other side, Vasilevsky, clearly one of the best goaltenders in the NHL. So really, it could go either way as far as goaltending. It really depends on who gets hot. Right now, Korpisalo is looking pretty good, but I gave it a split. I think there's potential on both sides. Pressure, I gave this to Columbus, which means I think there's more pressure for Tampa Bay. So Tampa got swept by Columbus last year, which means there are massive weights on the shoulders of all the players, of the fans. These Tampa fans do not want to lose to Columbus again 2 years in a row when they are, on paper, the better team. And, realistically, they're the better team. That doesn't always work out, and it may not this year. So Columbus has less pressure on their shoulders, so they get this point. Experience, I gave this a split. Now, this might be arguable. Tampa Bay has obviously gone to the playoffs more in the past 10 years, but Columbus recently went further. So I feel like the core of Columbus, although there was a lot of personnel change in the last 10 months, I guess it was more than 10 months now because of COVID, but in the last year, whatever. I think that experience-wise, you could argue both ways. I gave it a split. Leadership, I gave this to Columbus. I think they have better leaders on their team just from a leadership level. Coaching, I gave this to Columbus. John Tortorella, come on. Although John Cooper is not a bad coach by any means, I just really personally like John Tortorella, so maybe this one's a little biased. Chemistry, I gave this to Tampa. Most of the core of that team have been playing together for a while, and impressively. So they know their guys, and they know them well. History, the last one, I give that a split. Statistically, overall, Tampa has the better record against Columbus, but recently, statistically, especially in the playoffs, Columbus has the advantage. So I wasn't sure which way to go here, so I gave it a split. So that means Tampa's got 6, Columbus has 4, in a split of 5. So really, it's pretty even when you look at it, and as far as my ridiculous formula goes. Now, my want is Columbus. I want Columbus to win. It would be fine if Tampa won the cup. Sure, whatever. There's a lot of guys on the team that I like to see get the cup. But I like the story of Columbus. I like the underdog mentality. I like the play structure, and I like the intensity on the team. So I will be cheering for Columbus. Now, now to get to my prediction, I believe that Columbus is going to win this series. I don't think it's going to be a sweep, though. If it's a sweep, Tampa, you need to switch something up drastically, like just rethink everything. But I don't think it's going to be a sweep. I believe that Columbus is going to get this done in 6 games. Not 7, 6. I believe the intensity level that Columbus is at coming off that Toronto series will propel them deeper into the series quicker. Tampa they kind of struggled in the opening couple of games. Some injury question marks there as well. I don't think they're at the intensity level that Columbus is at. So I'm giving this one to Columbus. Feel free to disagree. My formula says Tampa Bay. I want Columbus. My prediction is Columbus. So I don't know. It's all over the place a little bit, but I would love to know your opinion. Love to know your thoughts. Please let them. Please leave them down below in the comment section. Who you picking for this series and how many games? What do you think is going to happen? Yeah, it's going to be a good series though. It's going to be really exciting. It's going to be one of the best series I think to watch just from a hockey fan's perspective, just because of the history that happened last playoffs. There's probably going to be some fights in this series, and I'm looking forward to it. It's the first game on tomorrow. I'm filming this Monday. That game's on tomorrow. I don't know when I'm going to release this, either tonight or tomorrow morning. Regardless, this video will be out before that game starts. Thank you so much for watching it. I really appreciate it. I'm doing all the other series previews coming up, so if you're not subscribed and you want to catch them up, love it if you go down, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the future. Adios.